Good morning and happy week 5 of remote learning. So today I am going to be doing a read aloud on Greta Thunberg. And so I didn't know how to say her name, and so I did a little research, and who better to hear it from than the girl herself? So she is a young lady from Sweden, and she's going to be talking a little bit here about how we need to change how what we're doing in order to help protect the earth. So protecting the earth is really important to her and a lot of other people. So the reading is about her, and I think this is just a good little introduction video so you can have an idea of who she is, and then we'll do the reading. So here she is.
You see, you're a bit far from it,
Yeah.
but we'll make it quiet so we'll
Should I
hear you.
forwards?
I think like this.
Okay. My name.
I'm sorry.
No. No. Get out of full screen here.
I'm 60 years old. I come from Sweden, and I want
It's
you
her
to
to pronounce her
panic.
name. Hold on. Let me go
I want
back.
you-
Here we go.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I'm 60 years old. I come from Sweden, and I want you to panic. I want you to act as if the house was on fire. I have said those words.
And so I'm just going to pause her there. So she is talking about panicking about what the earth and whatnot, and trying to get people to make change. So Greta Thunberg. I'm going to do my best to say her name correctly as we do our reading today. So there she is, Greta Thunberg. So and Earth. So another picture of her there. So it said she was 16 in that, but however, she obviously has aged. She doesn't say 16 her whole life. So I'm going to get rocking and rolling here. Many people want to protect Earth. Many people celebrate protecting Earth on Earth Day, which is April 22nd. One person who wants to protect Earth is Greta Thunberg. Greta is a 17-year-old girl who was born in Sweden. Greta has Asperger's syndrome, which is a kind of autism. People with autism think differently. They find some things easier to do, but other things harder to do. Greta says Asperger's syndrome is like her superpower. It helps her think differently. It helps her think about things that are important to her. And here she is again. So it looks like she's at a protest. It says something for future. I'm not 100% sure. Something for the future. Fridays are for the future, maybe. Fridays for future. So let's read on. One thing that is very important to Greta is stopping climate change. Climate is the typical weather in a place. Many people think the climate is changing, which could be dangerous for Earth. Changes in climate may cause floods, storms, wildfires, and more. Greta first learned about climate change when she was 8 years old. Greta started making changes in her life she thought would help Earth. She wanted to encourage government leaders to make changes too. She started protests in front of government buildings. During her first protest, she was alone. Then people started to join her. So you can see a bunch of different people. So it looks like maybe she wrote a sign in a different language, maybe Swedish. So you got a handful of different languages here. Change politics, not the climate. Cool kids saving a hot planet. So Greta with other students holding signs at a protest. Time is running out. Greta became famous for leading protests. She inspired other students around the world to protest too. She called these protests Fridays for Future. That answers my question from before, which means that did say Fridays for Future. At the protest, students gave speeches and held signs that encouraged leaders to learn more about climate change. They encouraged leaders to learn about stopping climate change. Students in countries around the world participated in these protests. Greta started meeting with leaders too. She meets with leaders to talk about climate change and what countries and people can do to help stop climate change and protect Earth. And there you go. So she's meeting with some leaders. I couldn't even begin to tell you what that says. That may or may not be a leader's name or their title. No idea. It's not English. It says guest for her, though, it looks like. Or maybe, yeah, no idea. Greta gives speeches at important meetings. She gave speeches in front of government leaders in Italy, France, and the US. During her speeches, Greta asked leaders to pass laws that protect Earth. She talks about ideas she has to protect Earth. She thinks everyone can help. She asks people not to fly in planes because planes make pollution that can hurt Earth. Greta is brave and meets with many adult leaders to talk about something important to her. Protecting Earth is important to Greta Thunberg. Why is protecting Earth important? Read this week's News to You extensive activity to learn about other ideas to help Earth. We'll have to find out what that is. So it is so April 22nd is Earth Day, and protecting Earth is important for your future and our future and the Earth's future and Greta's future. Now, so something I wanted to just add quickly before we end the reading here is they are so there's always silver linings to things, and so one of the silver linings of our current pandemic, so with the coronavirus, is that because people are not traveling as much, because people aren't going to work as much, because we are just doing life differently right now. They're actually seeing some benefits for pollution. They're seeing benefits in a lot of different places. China, the United States. They're seeing less pollution, less smog. Um, so one of the things that they said in their reading today was Greta wanted people not to fly on planes, and there's other forms of transportation that cause pollution, and so you're seeing some of the benefits of that right now. So I'm going to add a link in our folder here about the reading. That talks about some of those benefits as well. So if you're interested in reading about that, how that's being affected right now, please check that link out. Other than that, thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you take care of Earth every day, and I will hope you all have a wonderful day.